Listen, I run a 66K per month career coaching business selling through the DMs on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn clearly works. So in this video, I'll show you how to get hundreds of inbound leads without posting 3 times a day. I'll also show you my simple DM framework that lets me sell over the DMs. And then I will show you my best performing LinkedIn posts that have gotten me the most sales. With that said, let's dive straight in. So when I actually started my career coaching business, I was constantly stuck in the cycle where people would book calls. I would send a reminder a day before, I'd send a reminder on the day of, and then last minute they would cancel. I remember this story. One specific night, I was at my friend's birthday in London, and it was, I think, 7 to 10 p.m. or so, but I had to leave at around 8 p.m. or so because I had a sales call at 8:30. So I rushed out, I hopped in the tube, the underground train there in London, and I just made it to my desk at 8:27 p.m. and I opened my laptop up, and then as soon as I opened my laptop up, I fired up LinkedIn and I saw a DM from the lead who I was supposed to have a call with saying, "Hey, so sorry, I can't make the call. I have some work pending and I have to do that. Let's reschedule." And I was so pissed because I remember I was having so much fun with my friends. We were in the midst of having laughs. We were catching up on loads of stuff because these were my university friends, right? And I was so pissed because now it's 8:30 p.m. I had to rush back home. So I didn't have the energy to go back to meet my friends. So I was just so pissed. When I was angry, right? You know, when we get angry, we start thinking of like, okay, why did this happen and how can we make sure it never happens again? I really thought like, why did this person cancel? And this was like probably like the third or fourth cancellation I got in that week, right? It's quite high because we were only booking 5 to 7 calls a week. So half of them canceled. Then I realized, look, these people have no obligation to hop on a call with me. Like, this is not a lead problem. This is a trust problem. And when I learned that, then I realized that they don't have an obligation to join a call with me, and I'm just another coach, right? So I'm not worth their time. And that's when I stopped chasing clients. And then I thought of, okay, how can I build a system where these people want to hop on a call with me, where these people are excited, these people are following up with me, right? And that brings me on to my next point, which is like the inbound system I built, right? Because I wanted to build a system where I get leads inbound, and also they would want to hop on a call and trust would be high, right? So what I realized is people only hop on calls with people on the internet if they've provided value upfront and if they've built trust. So I thought to myself, okay, what's the one thing my ideal client really needs help with right now? And basically then I started giving away free resources, right? And I was giving away a free resource basically 3 times a week. Most of them flopped, didn't get many comments. But what I've seen after failing a lot is that the free resources that did the best were CV resources. I've got a list of companies, and then cold outreach, networking, kind of messages that they send out on LinkedIn, right? And that's how I then started getting people on calls, excited to hop on a call with me because I had started providing free resources, right? And they got value from them. And listen, right? CV templates, list of companies, and then cold outreach scripts. These work for my market. I target international students looking for entry-level jobs, so early careers people, right? But if you're targeting like senior people looking for like in kind of mid-level jobs, looking for senior jobs, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? It's pretty easy to find out like actually what are the high demand resources from our market. All you have to do is just look at your number one competitor and look at what the freebie they keep giving away in their LinkedIn posts, or if you follow them on Instagram, or even the free resource they have tagged at the top of their profile, right? So, I mean, I've got some examples here, but it could be like a CV template that got someone a senior job in, under 60 days. It could be a list of companies that are hiring for this specific tech job or whatever jobs you have people get. Or it can even be a cold outreach script that got them, let's say, a networking chat with a director or whoever the decision maker is, right? But the key thing to learn here is that you will not sell high ticket until you've provided them a lot of free resources, right? You don't just like make one post, someone messages you and they jump on a call with you. No, they have to see 5, 10, 15, 20 posts of yours, get insights from it, apply it to their job search, get results, maybe get callbacks, maybe get interview invites, maybe even faster interviews. Then they're going to be like, okay, cool, Josh is pretty good actually. I followed his advice and I passed his interview. Let me go back to him, right? So that's what you need to understand. Moving on, you need to find what their pain points are and then build resources that solve their pain points, right? So for my market, the number one pain point is not landing interviews. All of my resources are based on helping them land more interviews, which is cold outreach scripts, get interviews, CV template, get interviews, a LinkedIn profile optimization, get interviews. So if your target market has different struggles, such as not being able to source opportunities, you need to build resources around their pain points, right? So that's step 1, which is to create one strong free resource, which is your bait, which gets them to reach out to you and build that trust. Now, step 2 is once you've got a free resource, you need to turn that free resource into a lead magnet LinkedIn post. What I mean by lead magnet LinkedIn post is you need to basically like understand that you can have the best resource in the world. You can have the best resume template, as the Americans say, that's gone people's jobs at Google, Amazon, 200K plus jobs. But if you do not know how to market that free resource, no one's going to get it, right? So you need to, on top of your skill of getting people jobs, you need to learn the skill of marketing the resources you have, right? So when it comes to marketing on LinkedIn, there's literally only 2 things that get you 80% of the results. So the hook, which is the first 2 to 3 lines. The second thing is the image. If you just get the hook and the image right, you've done 80% of the job. And that's where most career coaches fail. Their hooks are garbage. Their hooks are not calling out the people they're trying to target, and their images are also pretty bad and really confusing and not high quality. Now, let's start with what a great hook is. So your hook if you want to attract your ICP, if you're helping project managers go from mid-level to senior level jobs, you need to call out project managers in the hook, in the first 2 lines of the LinkedIn post, right? And not only do you have to call them out, you also have to sell the outcome that your dream clients are looking for and not the process, right? Because the same psychology within sales also applies here, because marketing is just sales at scale, right? So you need to understand that people don't care about the flight, they care about the vacation. So they don't care about your process of getting people jobs, they care about the outcome. What was the outcome of the job? Is it 100K job, 200K job? Where is it? In San Francisco. So the formula that I recommend to career coaches is pretty simple. Literally, you can a format you can copy is like an example I have over here on my screen, on my laptop here, is how my client Sam went from 0 interviews to 3 job offers in 37 days. What you've done here is you've called out the person, so Sam, then you've called out the outcome, which is 0 interviews to 3 job offers, so that's the transformation, and then lastly time frame. So you want the who, the what, so who, the person, the what did they achieve, and the timeline, right? Another example I have here is Ashley landed a 120K senior project manager job offer in 45 days. Here's how. And the second example here where I've put Ashley's name, this is kind of very similar to the kind of hook format I've been using for 3 years. I've generated $1.6 million using these hooks because I'm calling out the person, the outcome, and the timeline all within the first literally 2 lines, and they can read that within like a split second when they're scrolling. So that's pretty much what you want to do for the hook. Make it based around the result. The amount of times I've seen career coaches put like how my client broke his limiting belief or some bullshit like that is honestly like mind-blowing, because job seekers don't give a shit about breaking their limiting beliefs. The only thing they care about is a new job. If they're unemployed, they want a job. If they're employed, they want a higher paying job. That's it. So you need to put that in the hook. How your client got a job, how your client got a promotion, how your client got a higher paying job. It's all about the outcome. That's all you want to put in the hook. So I'm going to pause this video here and we're going to jump into my laptop and I'll show you an example of a post I recently did that got me around 350, 400 comments, and I'll break down the hook in the image. Cool. So let's jump into my laptop. Okay, so we're in my computer now. Let me just show you the hook and the image for this post that recently generated 35,000 impressions, 394 comments, and all these people are leads because I help international students land jobs. And as you can see, these are all people. I can click on random names and show you. These guys are international students in the UK. That's who I target. Sarasim, as you can see, London, England, and international student clearly because he probably did an undergrad from abroad. As you can see, Lahore, that's Pakistan. So international student. Sanish as well. This is my ICP, international student in the UK. As you can see, Northumbria University, lives in the United Kingdom. And then his undergrad is from Tamil Nadu, which is India. Right, so I am attracting my leads to my post. That's the proof. Right, now let's start with the hook. I start with the who, Aparna, which is the target market, Indian. Landed a UK job, that's what they achieved. And then timeline 7 months before graduating, right? The reason I put 7 months before graduating is because I target international students, right? And international students specifically who are at university right now. So graduating attracts them. And then here's how she landed an AstraZeneca offer. This is basically more proof because she got a job at a big company, right? But if you just do this, like let's say you say Joss landed a 100K software engineering job in 45 days. Here's how. That alone is good enough. So that's the Aparna post. That's the hook. Now let me show you the image, right? Key thing I want to show you about this image is that this image, as you can see, she's sat in a location which pretty obviously screams the UK, right? Because you can see it's a British building there. You can just tell by the lamppost and like the ground that it's British soil. So that's what I'm trying to sell, which is getting international students jobs in the UK. And as you can see from this picture, this is an Indian who sat in the UK and she's happy, which means she got a job. So that's what I'm displaying. Once you understand the hook, the second most important thing about a LinkedIn post is the image, right? Because the image also acts as a hook. So as I said with Aparna, the image showed the outcome, right? So when you post an image with your LinkedIn post, you have to show the outcome. What I mean by that is most of the screen real estate goes to the image, right? And they need to, through the image, without reading any words, they need to see, ooh, this person is living the dream life I want to live. You're a career coach and it needs to be a picture of you, one of your clients who got their dream job. So with my LinkedIn post, as I said, I post a picture of an immigrant international student in a UK setting, which means they've built now a life in the UK, right? But if you're, let's say, you're targeting mid-level professionals and you want to help them get, senior jobs or higher paying jobs, right? Like a good image to go with your, client testimonial post would be a photo of your client holding an offer letter or even holding up their laptop and on the screen there's the offer, right? It could even be a picture of your client in front of an office. So one type of post I've see do really well is people standing outside the Google office, the LinkedIn office, the Apple office, showing that that's where they got a job. And also, if you don't have, or if your clients don't give you permission or consent to post about them, it can literally be a picture of you holding an offer letter or you when you got promoted or you got a new job, right? So you just need to show the dream outcome. That's what you need to do. In my testimonial posts, I always follow the same format. And you're probably thinking, but Faroon, like, won't people get bored? Like, if you follow the exact same format pretty much 3 times a week? Listen, that's completely incorrect. I thought that as well. The truth is, people actually like familiar formats. Think of your favorite TV show right now. Think of it. Put it in your head. Do you remember the outro? You do, right? Exactly. familiarity. So, and that's why your favorite TV shows, let's say you really like Friends, they have the same intro and outro for years, not 1 year, 2 years, for 5-10 years, right? So with my LinkedIn post, it's the exact same format for every testimonial post, right? Pretty much every post has the same format, right? And the format I follow is literally, obviously I have the hook at the start, the first 2 lines. Then I literally start with where they started. So before working with me, they landed 0 interviews, were getting ghosted, didn't know what jobs to apply for. Then they joined the UK Job Institute, so my program. Then they took these steps, boom, 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 5 steps. And then I also had a key insight there, key thing or like unique thing they did there. That's the second thing. Third thing is the outcome. Within 60 days of following this process, they landed a 40K project manager job or whatever. I know salary 40K isn't high, but in the UK, it's decent for entry-level jobs, right? And I could actually show you an example of Aparna. If you want me to break down Aparna's LinkedIn post, just drop a comment below and I'll break it down, right? So now that you've given them exactly where they started off with, what steps they took and the outcome, the last thing you want to do is the CTA, right? And you need a CTA that gets them to ask for a resource, right? And this is the key part. And most career coaches I've seen either forget this or they get it wrong, right? When I say a CTA, I mean call to action, right? And a call to action is for them to take action to message you so that you get warm leads who want to buy. This is the CTA I use for Aparna, right? And as you can see, it is such a great offer that if they don't comment and take action on it, they're going to feel stupid. I literally say, Aparna has offered to share the exact CV that landed her a UK job 7 months before graduating. Now think of it. These people have graduated a year ago. So they've spent 1 year applying for jobs. They basically got 0 interviews. That's most people, most internationals in the UK. And then Aparna, she comes and she got a job 7 months before graduating, which basically means she got a job, 5 months within landing in the UK, and these people have been trying for 2 years. They're going to be like, holy shit, how the hell did she get a job as a student? They command access. So that's what you need to do. It needs to be a crazy offer. Could be something like comment resume, and I'll send you the exact resume that got Josh 15 interviews and 2 job offers in under 30 days. Okay, so now here's where the magic happens. Basically, we get everyone to comment access. And now what we're doing is we're training the algorithm to boost the post even further. And the way we do that is basically whenever someone comments access, we then reply to each comment, message me Aparna CV, and I'll send it over. We could have just said that in the original post, but we don't. We want them to comment first, then we reply to their comment. And the reason for that is one, social proof, right? When people see like 200 comments versus 1,000 comments, they're much more likely to comment on a post with 1,000 comments. So the more comments you have, the more the merrier. That's one thing. Another reason is that the LinkedIn algorithm will show your post to more people, the more comments you get. So think of this as this vicious cycle of you get people to comment, you reply to each comment, that doubles the comment by nature of that. Then more people see higher comment, more people comment. Then you have a higher comment amount, more people comment. And basically what happens is you get this vicious cycle of you comment, or people comment, you reply. This vicious cycle continues until your post goes viral. And I've got multiple testimonial posts with 100K plus views, multiple with 500 plus views, and probably tens or even over 100 plus with 100 plus comments, right? And each comment is a qualified lead because they wouldn't ask for the CV if they weren't kind of in our target market. And even if they do, we still see 60-70% of people are qualified. So you're still getting a shit ton of leads for free, hot piping leads, right? And that's pretty much it. Another reason, last reason is when you reply to a comment, especially when you tag them, the lead gets a notification. Now, not only have they commented, they also get a notification. So there's so many touch points where they're reminded of you, right? And then they see the notification and then they DM you asking for the free resource. As you can see, people just say, can you send me CV Aparna? We then send them the freebie like this. Like literally no pitch, no nothing. See below for the exact CV Aparna used to land her dream UK job. That's simply it, right? And then we just ask them the biggest challenge, right? But that's how simple it is. We just send them the freebie. Okay, hopefully now you understand how to write a great hook, how to write a great post, how to then have a great image as well, and then how to have an amazing CTA that get loads of comments. Let's now talk about a super simple posting schedule, right? First off, you don't need to post 3 times a day. LinkedIn is a platform where you get penalized for, and similar to YouTube, you get penalized for a lot of volume. So I recommend 3 posts a week, not more than once per day. Like right now, my full-time focus is growing the UK Job Institute, and we do 1 post a day. So some context, right? In my first year of launching my career coaching business, I was just posting 3 times a week consistently. So I wasn't doing once a day. So you don't need to post once a day, right? And if you're unsure of what the split should be, just post 2 testimonial posts, or in other words, case study posts of your clients, and then 1 personal story post. And remember, your personal story post has to follow the same framework. And the framework is how you landed the dream outcome that they're looking for. Project manager job, software engineer job, whatever is in the timeline. So the who, you, the what, the job, and the timeline, which is how long it took, right? Just make sure, as I said, every post has a strong hook and image. You provide value inside the post and a simple CTA that makes them feel stupid if they don't comment, right? And if you do this consistently for at least 3 months, I promise you, you will get some days where you get hundreds of inbound leads messaging you, and then you could book them in for calls and sell them on your high ticket career coaching program. So that's pretty much it. Now that's done. Let's now talk about the second part of this video, which is a DM script that will book you 5 to 10 calls per week without being salesy. So quick preface here, the DM script is the cherry on top. It doesn't matter how magical your words are or how you use or you flip a cart or whatever to get people to book a call. They will not book a call if they don't trust you. So 90% of the game is just building trust through amazing content on LinkedIn and then great resources. That's 90% of the game. But let me just give you a framework to follow within the DM script, right? Assuming you've got your content right, providing value and you're giving away free resources, right? So what I've seen with career coaches and coaches in general is they've ruined their trust, because I get loads of inbound messages as well. And the message that I hate that really makes me think this person's a scammer, I hate them, never want to work with them, is, hey Faroon, mind if I ask you a question? Yes, I do mind. I don't know you, I don't trust you, fuck off. So don't say that. Don't also send a message saying, would you be open to hopping on a call? I can help. Don't ask for a call. They don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you. It just puts them off from the start. And then it just puts this weird dynamic where it's this cat and mouse game where you're the cat, they're the mouse, you're trying to chase them. It doesn't work like that, right? And you just get tired and ultimately get burnt out. Then you want to quit, right? Now, on the contrary, if you look at my DMs, if you look at it, 90% of our closes come from inbound. And what that means is people DM me first and then we close, right? And why did they DM me? They DM me for a free resource. So as I said, give away free resources, they'll come to you. And one thing to note as well with my DM script is that I don't ask a question until I've provided value. I lead with value, because I know that if I ask them questions, even if they respond, they're not likely to buy because there's no trust there. So key learning here is with the DM script, you do not ask questions until you've provided value. So now that you understand that, let's talk about the DM script. First, you basically get them to message you for a freebie, right? And the way I showed you earlier as well is you don't pitch to them. You just say, hey, here's the free resources you wanted, boom, send it to them. Don't ask anything from them after that, like right after that, right? No pitch, right? You keep your promise, and as soon as you've sent the resource, they've used it, then that kind of, you got one node or one currency of trust. Now that you've got trust, the next thing you want to do, you want to wait, I'd say at least 6 hours or ideally a day, depends on how senior your dream client is. If they're very busy in a stressful job, you want to give it 1 to 2 days. If they're unemployed and they have nothing best to do, then probably you can give it 6 hours and message them, right? And literally this message doesn't matter because now you've got their trust. You can even have a message with incorrect English, they'll still reply because they trust you, right? So honestly, the message that we send is extremely simple. It's literally 5 words. How's your job search going? Question mark. Boom. The question isn't even like people say, oh, you should ask binary questions because they haven't. No, if you've built trust, it doesn't matter. So all we say is, how's your job search going? And then they reply with, oh yeah, they usually give away loads of pain points. They become an open book and then you have so much to play with, right? And now that you know their pain, you want to give them value, right? So let's say, oh, I'm really, really struggling to get interviews for these senior jobs. All you have to do is, okay, got it. If I were you, I'd do these 2 things, right? Just give them 2 to 3 lines of value. Try this. Boom. And it could be a copy paste script as well. As you'll see as well, is if you're targeting only one type of persona, they have similar problems, right? All you have to do is have 3 to 4 script responses, send it to them, and then they'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then you wait, right? And what you'll also see is people will go away, they will disappear, they might not message you for a few days, but that's fine. You need to understand that, especially if you're selling high ticket, anything over $3,000, anything over $5,000, it takes a while. They're not going to see one post, book a call and close. It doesn't work that way unless they come through referral. They're going to sit down, read one post, message you, get a freebie, read another post, message you again, get another freebie, message you a bit back and forth, see another post. It's going to take 2-3 weeks for them to close. That's just how it is, right? And you have to be patient. That's why this is a long game. And basically what you want to do is, once you've known enough of their pain points, then step 4 is you want to very softly invite them for a call. And this is only once you provided value for days or weeks. And since you've provided value, they're much more open to now jump on a call. And like literally, like, you know what Alex Ramosi says? He says, if you have a webinar and if you say no, literally nothing, you have tape on your mouth and you just go from 1 slide to 100 slides where it's just proof of screenshots of the results you got, you'll still get people to convert, right? A small percentage of people will convert. And the reason why people will convert is because proof is the ultimate determinant, right? And if you have proof, people will buy, right? And if you're giving people value, that's proof that you know what you're talking about. And it's the biggest lever you can have with getting people to buy. And that's pretty much it, right? So now the way you pitch the call is important. Like if you really want to know how we pitch the call, I mean, we use sales tactics, but I was still booking calls even before I had any sales tactics because I provided value. They trusted me, right? When we're pitching a call, first we put this sentence: are you interested in exploring how my team can help you solve X? And X is usually whatever their pain point is. If they're not clear on their pain points, or if they have loads of pain points, or if you have loads of leads, I would just say, are you interested in exploring how my team can help you land your dream UK job? Once they say yes, then we say, okay, cool. Here's a link to book yourself in for a chat with myself or my team. We put the link in, then we say we would advise you book a date as early as possible, as spots are limited and demand for the accelerator is high. And look, the message here, yes, you can optimize it, but it's a tiny lever. If you provide enough value, they'll book a call. And look, despite all the value you provide, there will be 10, 20, 30% that will ghost you. Literally, they'll message you for days and then they'll ghost you. Don't get offended. Just follow up, right? What I would do is I would just like send a very innocent follow up. And the key is I would assume good intent. Even if they ghosted me ruthlessly and I'm like, fuck, I hate this person, I wouldn't get butt hurt. And my follow up would be very, very, very positive. And I'd say, hey, just checking. Did you struggle to find a time and date that works for you? Let me know and I'll send you a different link where there's more cost loss. Simple message like that. And usually what I've seen is this follow-up works really well because then they say, oh, no, it's not that. I'm just busy with X or Y, right? And if you repeat this process with every inbound lead, which is you give them a free resource, you ask them how their job search is going, you give them some value at their pain point, and then you pitch them a call in a very soft way, and then you follow up until they book a call. And obviously you can add scarcity and urgency. You can say, hey, by the way, we have 3 spots left this month and ever. Those tactics do work, but they're not the biggest lever. The biggest lever is providing value. Last year, I used this exact framework. Probably we booked around 4 to 6 per day from LinkedIn. We also were doing Instagram. We did that for a year. So let's say 5 per day on average, 25 days per month, 5 into 25, 125, 12 months. Basically used it for 1,500 calls booked. And I generated $1.1 million last year and met Alex Ramosi. So this framework works. Okay, now the moment that you've all been waiting for. Let's talk about the LinkedIn post that made me the most money. So this is the easiest question I've answered. And it's honestly testimonial posts. Or in plain speak, client wins or client success stories, right? So what we recently did was we mapped out all of our top sales days and we looked at the LinkedIn posts that were made on top 10 sales days. And I think 9 of the top 10 days where we got record sales were where we posted a testimonial post or client success story, which is basically the same thing. And listen, if you want to take only one thing away from this video and you forget everything, and that is you have to double down, triple down, quadruple down on posting client success stories. And if you don't have enough client success stories, then you shouldn't be a career coach, right? You need to go out and get more client success stories because your business is nothing without getting people results, right? And listen, I've been posting testimonials for 3 years now, and it's now gotten to the point where like a lot of messages we get from people who've basically just heard from other international students who got jobs through my programs, and they say, hey, how can I work with you? Are you taking on new students? So the simplest way to write a testimonial post is as follows, right? I've mentioned this before, but get the hook right, add value in the story, and give a CTA, right? And then obviously the image needs to show the outcome as well. Story, as I said earlier, break it down by where they started, so what results they were getting before working with you, the steps they took after they started working with you, and their outcome, the salary, the job, whatever. And the key thing I do that actually makes my LinkedIn post like so different is that I don't just like flaunt my success stories. I actually put value inside them, right? So when they read the post, there's actually like tactical nuggets that they can take from the post, apply it to the job search and get results. So not only are they getting inspired, they're also getting value, which is so powerful. Another key insight is to always tag your client, right? So whoever your client is, make sure you tag them because people usually click on the profile, they message them. That's what gets them to trust you. And that's basically how I've scaled to 83,000 followers. No, 83,000, sorry, 88,000 or something now. Because I just tag, like in most posts, I tag people and people talk and they follow me. And there's a lot of positive word of mouth as well. And that builds trust, right? Third thing is CTA, as I mentioned. You need to add a CTA that's super powerful. That basically makes them feel stupid if they don't act on the CTA. And then I think that's pretty much it. If you just post testimonial posts twice a week for 3 months, you will be swimming in inbound warm leads. And I promise you this strategy will work for you as well. It'll work for whatever niche you're in as long as you are a career coach. Because ultimately, we're all in the same market. We're getting people jobs, right? And people want to know that you've helped people get the job they're looking for, right? Listen, I've said a lot. But I have recently opened a free WhatsApp group, and the reason why it's free is because I want to learn what your biggest pain points are so I could then build a program to sell to you. Yes, I want to sell to you something, but I'm doing a lot of free work on the front end so you can join, get a shit ton of free value, not pay me a penny, right? The average coach inside this WhatsApp group is making 5 to 10K per month through their business, and I myself generate 66K per month through my career coaching business, and I'm helping people out for free. So if you'd like to join the group, the link to the group is in the description below, and see you inside. Hope you found this valuable.